Hey guys, welcome to another edition of K Cards Baseball. Thanks for joining me today on this fine Saturday morning, wherever you might be. Today we're going to do a couple things on the channel. First up, we're going to go ahead and do the giveaway for the Blaster Box of 2024 Series 1 to one of our subscribers, one of our new subscribers for the month of February. I did go ahead and enter all the names into the randomizer here, and all I have to do is hit this pick randomly button, and that will give us the winner. So we're going to do that here in a second. We are also going to do a video regarding PSA. We got a bunch of cards that we are going to evaluate and see whether or not we should go ahead and send them off to PSA for grading. I do have do have 5 cards that I can send off. I don't have a tremendous amount of money to spend on grading right now, but I'd like to pick 5 cards and send them off for grading and see how we do and that type of thing. We're going to do it from beginning to end. So we'll first go through and pick up the cards or pick the cards that we're going to do for grading, and we'll fill out the form and send it off to PSA with the cards, and when we get them back, we'll see what kind of grades we get on the cards, and if we do get any back that are worth going ahead and selling on eBay, we'll throw them up on eBay and see what kind of profit we can get on these cards. So I'm pretty excited about that. We'll do that here in a second, but first up we'll go ahead and do the giveaway. Let me kind of adjust my camera here for a second so you guys can all see the screen. Okay, like I said, I did go ahead and enter all the names for the month of February for new subscribers into the list here as far as new subscribers. And all I need to do is hit this pick randomly button, and it will throw up the name of the winner for the month of February. So without further ado, let's go ahead and give away this blaster box. The winner is JNY Cards. Congratulations, JNY Cards. You are the lucky winner for the giveaway. So I will get in touch with you and I'll get this blaster box out to you. Get your contact information and whatnot, and we will go ahead and fire that off to you. So congratulations again, and without further ado, let's roll into the PSA video. Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. Had a little technical difficulties I had to take care of. My microphone was running low on juice, so I had to throw it on the charger for a few minutes and get it charged up so I can complete this video. So again, congratulations to JNY Cards for being the winner of the 2024 Series 1 blaster box that we gave away for new subscribers for the month of February. Again, thanks to all the new subscribers of the channel. We went into the month with about 150, 140 subscribers, and we ended the month at about 250, 255. So thank you all for coming to join us, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed the content so far, and I hope that you guys stick with us because we got plenty more great content to come. I think the next giveaway that we're going to do is once we get to 300 subscribers. So this contest or this giveaway is going to be available for all subscribers to the channel, not just new subscribers. So anybody that's a subscriber to the channel, well, once we get to 300 subscribers, we will do a video thanking those individuals that have come on board, and you'll be able to go ahead and throw your comments into the comment box down below, and we will give away, I think what we're going to do is any rookie cards that I pull out of Series 2024 between now and then will be given away to that winner of that giveaway. So that is going to be pretty cool. So you guys can watch the videos and see which rookie cards are going to be given away. I'll just set them aside, and again, once we get to 300 subscribers, we'll go away and give away all those rookie cards out to one subscriber to the channel, and that'll be cool. So anyways, more details to come of that as we get closer. Just kind of thought of that in my head. You guys can let me know if you think that's a good idea or a dumb idea, or if you guys have any other ideas that might be good giveaways. I'm always willing to listen to that type of thing. So please throw your comments down below, and I would strongly consider any other giveaway ideas. But I think this one would be pretty good. So I've been pulling quite a few rookies out of 2024, and we'll continue to do shorts. So if you haven't watched the short videos, go ahead and watch those so you guys can get an idea about which rookie cards we're pulling and which ones will be given away once we get to 300 subscribers. So keep tabs on that. That will be pretty cool. So moving on, let's move on to today's content. Today what we're going to do is talk about PSA. I would like to, I've got a stack of cards right here that I am considering sending off to PSA. I've got to narrow this entire stack of cards down to 5 because I only have enough money to send 5 cards off to PSA right now. So I want to go ahead and show you guys the evaluation process that I do as far as deciding which ones to send off. And we can figure it out, and we'll narrow it down to 5 and send those 5 off to PSA. We'll take you through the whole process. We'll go through the selection process, which we're doing today. We'll go through filling out the form and getting the cards prepped for sending off, send the cards off, and once we get them back, we'll decide which ones we're going to sell and go ahead and throw those up on eBay and try and figure out what kind of profit or loss we get on those cards that we sell. So it should be kind of a cool chain of events, and will be kind of a neat little series for you guys to kind of follow along and see how we do as far as selling some cards on PSA. So let's get into it. First, I want to kind of cover the selection process that I go through as far as what cards to sell on PSA or what cards to send off to PSA and what you don't send off to PSA. So the first criteria that I would strongly suggest is only send cards to PSA that you're willing to sell. So for example, when I pick cards that I'm going to sell or going to send off to PSA, I usually pick doubles of good cards that I have. As you guys will see as we go through this, I do have multiples of the cards that I'm considering sending off to PSA. Or if it's a player that I really don't care about, I don't have any sort of emotional attachment to in any sort of way, I don't care if I hold on to his card and don't really care if I have it in my PC or not, I will generally not send those cards off. The second thing to consider is you have to pick the time that is the best time for grading. Right now we're basically at the end of the grading period for baseball. I probably should have sent these cards off a month ago, but I wasn't able to, so we're doing them now. But I think that we'll be okay because right now the turnaround time I think is around 4 to 6 weeks, and that'll put us right at the beginning of the season for Major League Baseball. That'll give these new players a chance to get hot and get off to a good start, and that's when their card values will be at their highest. So right now is the best time to consider any rookies that you think are going to be called up at the beginning of the season. So for example, my Minnesota Twins, we just talked a minute about Brooks Lee. He's a guy that has got a strong possibility of being called up at the beginning of the season. I would expect him to. So if you have his rookie cards, this time would be the best time to send those off for grading. I might possibly send 1 or 2 off. I don't have them in my stack, but I'm thinking about that more and more. Right now, but will be the best time to send off any Jackson Holidays, Jackson Cheerios, Ellie De La Cruz's, even though he was with Cincinnati last year. The third factor is do your research, and that's what we're going to do today primarily. Look at the comps, look and see what the card is now, and see what the earning potential is down the road if the card's on decline. Right now might be the best time to send it off. So do your comps, look at your eBay, and that's primarily what we're going to do now. To look at the determining factor. We're also going to look a little bit about PSA pops, the pop report, and what that does is basically tell us how many cards of each one of the cards that we're considering to send off for grading have already been graded and what the percentage is that are coming back in Gem Mint 10, Mint 9, and so on and so forth. So if I've got a card that is in my PC that I'm considering sending off for grading and the Gem Mint 10 is really low, do I want to send it off to get graded and have it come into a lower grade that I really don't want it to, and will basically be difficult for me to make my money back on the card? Because as you guys know, the only way you really can make money back on cards right now is if you're getting cards back in Gem Mint 10. The fall off between a Gem Mint card and a Mint card is, what is it, 4 or 5 times at least. It depends upon the player and the type of card it is. Um, but the drop off is quite significant. If you're going from a gem mint 10 where you can actually make money back on the card to a mint 9 where you're looking at hoping to break even, that's a pretty tough pill to take. That is something to look at, and that's why it's really important to do your research before sending cards off to PSA. And then finally, and we're going to do this today too, once we narrow down our cards and figure out what we want to send off and what we don't, evaluate the condition of the card. As you guys know, there's 4 basic elements you have to look at when you're looking at evaluation of a card, which is your surface, your edges, your corners, and your centering of the card. So those are the 4 factors you want to look at, and we'll talk about more of that once we evaluate each card and decide whether or not it has a possibility of getting a 10 back or a gem mint 10 back, or if it's not going to be possible at all. So anyways, without further ado, we'll flip over to the computer screen and we'll take a look at the comps on eBay on each card that we're considering sending off, and figuring out whether or not now is a good time to do it. So hang on 1 second, we'll get us set up on the computer. Alrighty guys, welcome back. So as you can see on my computer screen in front of me, I've got Colton Cowser pulled up, number BCP 144. I've got 2 of his Chrome cards from 2023. So I kind of want to look at his cards because I know that he is doing very well down in spring training right now, and I would fully expect him to start the season with the Orioles, be called up right away. So his cards, I think, will really take off, and I think that he's going to get off to a really good start this year. So I would like to see if these cards will be worth sending off for grading. As you can see, we've got one here in Gem Mint 10. These are current auctions that are running on eBay. So this one right here, Gem Mint 10, this person is asking $34.99. Here's one in a green refractor, number to 99 for 76 bucks. Here's one, a speckle for $5.50, not graded, just raw. And you can see the rest of his cards. But again, I'm really not that interested in current auctions. I'm looking at auctions that have completed or sold. So again, we go up here to the advanced button, hit that button, and again, we go down here to sold and completed items, and I'm going to hit search. Okay, so we went ahead and hit our advanced and hit our sold and completed. I'm not exactly sure why there's Jason Dominguez is showing up first, and all these other cards. Here's a Colton Cowser base paper card for $1.05 that has sold recently. But again, I'm interested in Chrome cards, so we'll hit Chrome. We'll hit Bowman, and we'll hit Chrome right down here, and see if that narrows our search down a little bit. Here you got one that sold a Lunar Glow for $2. I'm more interested in graded cards. So here's one, an SGC that sold for SGC 9.5 sold for $5. But again, I want to look at PSA, and it doesn't look like there's a lot of PSA stuff that's out there on this particular card. Here's another SGC 10 that sold for $15. So yeah, it doesn't look like, see, all these are selling at 79, 99 cents, that type of thing. So let me see what the market is saying about it right now. So if we go back to the top, scroll back to the top, if we hit our market, our little squiggly line here, it'll show what the value is, or what the trading card value is of this card. And right now it's on the uptick. It went from $2.26 and now it is up to $10.01. Average market value of $7.21 for this BCP 324 or 144. Sorry. But there isn't any graded that are in here. So this might be a very good, sneaky grade on for me. So I'm going to look at these cards, and because the market isn't big right now, there isn't a lot of them out there. might be a way for me to capitalize on a little bit. So we'll set these ones aside of ones that we want to look at. So moving on to the next ones, I do have the Jackson Holiday right here, which is number BDC 168 from 2022. And this is his Bowman First Chrome Refractor. So this is considered his base rookie card, but this is the only one that I have. So I don't know that I really want to send this one off for grading, but it might be worth it. So let's see what this one says. Okay, so I pulled up here the Chrome Refractors, Jackson Holiday Refractor BDC 168s. And see what we have here is a 9 that sold for $76. Here's one for sold for $224. Here's one for $250 on the refractor. Here's a raw that sold for $66. Another raw that sold for $71. So it looks like the market for raws to 10s is pretty significant. So if I should be able to get this card back in a 10 and have it graded a 10, that is quite a huge jump. It might be worth the price to send it off. So if we're getting 66 for a raw, I'd be curious to see what the mints are. The mints are going for about the same as what the raw is. I'm highly thinking that I'm going to send this one off to get graded because that's too much of a margin for me to pass up. And considering I got this out of a regular box, it really doesn't cost me anything extra to go ahead and send that off. It'd be worth the $15 or $19 for grading to possibly have a $150 upside. So yes, this is one that we're definitely going to consider sending off because that's a pretty good upside as far as that goes. So definitely going to send that one, set that one aside. And I think that we're going to look at a lot of Jackson Holiday cards here. Okay, the next card that we're going to look at is again another Jackson Holiday, which is just his 2023 Bowman base card, Chrome base card. We're going to look at those because I have, as you can see, I've got 4 of them. And so there's definitely some upside to me selling these 4 or taking at least 2 of these and selling them. So let's look at that card and see where that card is at. So we'll take out the refractor and put in number, let's see what number it is. It is BCP20. So BCP-20. And see where that card is at. And again, we want to look at graded cards. And right now, here's a PSA 9. That's a lunar refractor, Mojo refractor. Here's one right here that is PSA 9 for $24. So you got your grading at 15 and your eBay fees at 13%. So $23, that's basically $250. So you're looking at $17.50 in cost. So you're making $6. Is it worth to make it for possibly getting it back in a mint 9 and selling it to make $5 or $6? 20 to 25% profit? Maybe. Here's another one that sold a 9 that sold for $15.50. If I was going to sell for $15.50, there'd be no way. I'd have to get at least around that $24 to $25 in order for me to make it worth it. It'd come back at a 9. I might hold off on this card just because what I'm seeing is that your gem mints, your 10s, are selling for around $35 to $40. Here's one that sold at $35. Is it worth spending the $15 and now you're at $35? You're paying another $5 in eBay fees, so $20 in for a $35 card would probably do it. But if it's going to come back in a 9, I don't know that it'd be really worth it. So we might have to look at that one again. I might hold off on that one for now and see how things go, whether or not I can make money on that. Next up, we'll look at Jackson Holiday Pro Debut. Now, I bought this card at a card show with the idea of sending it off to get graded. Just looking at it without doing a deep dive on it, it looked to me like it was a pretty good condition card. Looks like it could possibly grade out a 10. But let's do our analysis on this card and see where we're at. Again, that's Jackson Holiday, and it is number BD7. Again, there's not a lot of graded ones in here. I'm not seeing any graded samples on this card either. But like I said, I did buy this card with the idea of sending it off to get it graded, because I got a strong feeling that if he gets off to a strong start, it might be worth having this card up for sale, and that's primarily what I bought it for. So we'll do a deep dive on that one to see if it is worth going ahead and selling. The next one up is Paul Skeens, which is a glass card, a Bowman draft glass card of his. We'll see what this one says. I think he's going to be an amazing pitcher. I think he could very well be in, like Kodai Senga was last year. He could be that guy. Up there as far as Cy Young voting at the end of the year. Let's see, I bought this card at the card show for $10. So here's one in the raw form that sold for the same price, $10.50, that I basically bought it for. But here's a Gem Mint 10 that sold for $104. Here's another one, a PSA 9 that sold for $42. So I've got $10 into the card right now. $15 for grading puts it at $25. So if I sell it at $42, that's probably a pretty decent profit. You're looking at about 25 to 30% profit. If I happen to get it back in a 10, these 10s, here's a 10 that sold for $149. So that would be a tremendous upside. So this is one that I would strongly, strongly consider turning around and selling, or sending it off to PSA. In fact, I would say that the chances are pretty high that it is going to go in the PSA box. So we'll set that one aside for a strong possibility for grading. Last one to look at is this Jackson Churio, which is a first Bowman. It's a paper, it's not a chrome, but let's see what it says. Number BP79. We pulled up their sold and completed in BP79s. $4.99 raw. Let's see, I got 131 graded. Market value again. There's okay. Don't know what that was about. Anyways, a 9 that sold for $4. I would never send it off to grading thinking I was getting $4. Here's a 10 that sold for $27. Another one that sold for an SGC for $27. Here's a 10 that sold for $36. Would be worth it at $36, yes, because that's $15 plus the grading fee, which is probably another $5, or the eBay fee, so $20 for 36. So you're making $15-16. Probably be worth sending off for that. I'm not going to send it off and sell it for 30 because you're not making a lot of money at $30. But for 35, I would probably do a buy it now at probably 35 because that's what looks like the market would be. Here's a 32. Here's an outlier, which is, oh, that's an auto card, sold for 100. Here's another one sold for 36. So we'll have to look at the condition of this card. I might very well send it off. I don't have a lot of emotional investment in a Jackson Churio, so turning around and selling one of his cards, his first Bowman, might be worth it. I don't know. We'll see. So anyways, guys, I've got it narrowed down here to how many we're going to look at. 10 cards, and we'll see if it's worth sending these 10 cards off to get graded, or we got to narrow these 10 down to 5. So let's flip back to the desk and see what we can come up with. Okay, guys, in the interest of saving time, I'm not going to go through the pop report because this is already getting to be kind of a long video, so I do want to kind of keep it. We'll go through a pop report on a different video and do a video about the pop report. If you guys remember me talking about pulling cards out of sleeves, so if you look at this Colton Cowser card right here, you can see these scratches here, but is that on the sleeve or is that actually on the card? So let's pull this card out. So as we can see that those scratches were actually on the loader, on the penny sleeve, not actually on the card. So if we look at this card, it does have a thumbprint up there, so I'll have to definitely clean it. The surface If we're looking at the surface of the card, if you guys remember, the surface, the edges, the corners, and the centering of the card are the four factors we look at when grading. So the surface of the card, other than that thumbprint, actually looks pretty good. I'm not seeing any major scratches. That top edge isn't the greatest. So I'm guessing that this is probably not going to be a 10 card. It's probably going to be a 9. So with that being said, let's look at the other card. And again, we have to take it out of its sleeve. We're very careful about doing that. Surface is actually really good on this card. The edges, there might be a little bit of fraying up here on the top edge. Centering is an issue though. It probably is 70-30. So I don't know that this card would be a 10 either. So do I send either of these cards off knowing that I'm probably going to be at best a 9 on either one of these cards? Probably not for the price. So we might have to hold off on Colton Cowser. Alrighty, let's look at Jackson Churio here. This paper. This one looks pretty good. The surface is actually really nice and glossy. Flip it over to the back. The back is really nice. Centering on the back is primarily what we're looking at for centering. I would say that that is pretty good. So this one would have a possibility of coming back a 10. So this one would be one that I would strongly consider sending off. Let's look at these 4 Jackson Holidays we got here. Okay, I got them up here on the stage on my Wander Franco Gem Mint 10 that I use for my little stand. So let's look at this first one. Corner's actually pretty sharp on this card. Centering, maybe 60-40, and does need a little bit of cleaning up here on the top. So this one might be one that I would consider sending off. The back is really good. The centering on the back is actually pretty good. The surface is really nice, and the edges are actually pretty clean. I'm going to set this one aside as a possibility. This next one, it's very similar to the last one, although it does have a scratch up here. And I don't know if that scratch will be able to be fixed. It does have a print mark across the middle of it, right here, a print line. So this one, the chances of this coming back 10, probably not with those 2 flaws. Even though the corners are good, the edges are good, and the centering is good on it. This print flaw across the middle of it, I definitely think would hold it back from being a 9. So we'll set that one aside. We'll look at this one. It has a major ding right there in the printing. Yeah. So that one is definitely not going to be a 9 with that dimple mark right there. Or not going to be a 10. So that one, unfortunate, no. This one, again, centering pretty good. Edges are really nice. This one's probably the best of the 4. The back is really nice shape. So this one, I think we will consider this one as well. Even though it's not as centered as what I'd like it to be, it looks like it's 60-40, but PSA gives you 60-40. If it's any, the variation is more than that, they generally aren't going to give you the edges. I don't know if this one's a 50-50, whether or not it will come back a 10 or not. Yeah, I don't know. We'll set that one aside and take a look at that one a little bit closer. These next ones we've got, which is this one, the other Jackson Holiday, the Pro Debut card. I bought this one specifically for grading. This one is really, really nice. The edges are really good shape. The surface is really good. The centering is actually really nice on the card. The corners are really nice. The back of the card is in really nice shape. Even though centering is a little bit off on the back. But I think that this card is definitely going to be going off to PSA for grading. So we'll set that one aside. That one is probably a 80% go. This next one, which is the Paul Skeens glass card. And the chances of me not, let me see here if I can get this one out. Really nice card on the Paul Skeens. I'm just looking at the surface under the light. It's nice to have a magnifying light to be able to look at the surface in great detail here. I like this card. This card is really nice. So this card, I think, is our strongest possibility of getting a 10 out of these cards that we have. So we'll set this one aside. And the last one we're going to look at, this Refractor Bowman First of Jackson Holiday. Surface is immaculate. The corners are in really nice shape. Centering is really good on this card. The back is really good. So this one is also another one I'm probably 99% sure is going to go off. It does have a little bit, it needs to be cleaned on the top there. So we'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, this is a nice card. Gonna send this one off. Okay, so here's what we got at the end of this. So that one's going off. Again, you can see the scratches on the card holder and also the penny sleeve. So don't ever look at cards for grading through penny sleeves. They have to be looked at through raw or in their basic form. The Paul Skeens will be number 2 that's going to go off. The Jackson Holiday Pro Debut is going to go off for sure. So we'll get that one ready to go. These Jackson Holidays, I do want to pick one of these two to go off to grading. And right now I'm thinking this one is the better card. So we'll set this one aside. And we will put this one in a sleeve and get this one ready to go. Jackson Churio. Really nice card here. I think this one's going to go off to grading too. And then the Paul Skeens will definitely go off to grading. So there's our 5 guys. There's our 5 that we're going to go ahead and get graded. Hopefully they all come back in 10s. And we'll be in good shape for turning around and selling them. It would be really bummer if they all come back in 9s. But hopefully they come back in 10s. So there we go, guys. Thanks for joining me tonight. Again, if you like this video and like what we do, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I would appreciate it. And again, I appreciate everybody's subscription during the month of February. I know we got great content coming up in the month of March and going forward on the channel. And hopefully you guys like what we're doing here. And again, as you guys know, as we talked about a bunch of times, is that this channel is very much your channel. So if you have any content ideas that you want me to cover, any suggestions, I'm always willing to look at that type of thing and consider any of the topics that you guys bring to my attention for talking about. So again, thanks so much, guys. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And be safe out there and happy collecting.